All right, so we're going to start with the dollar index. Let's look at it from the monthly time frame, and then before we go down to the weekly. All right, so here we are on the monthly time frame. This month still starting up has been so bullish. Couple what last month did as well. So now last month we had pinpointed this CRT, and then price delivered right to the peak of it. And then this month again, though this month I wasn't expecting this heavy price movement, but due to the fundamentals and the elections, with the previous history of elections, this normally happens. All right. Now, we had something on the 3 weeks time frame. Let me just quickly show you guys that we had something on the 3 weeks time frame, this particular fair value gap. And looking at price action right now, I feel like we're going to be coming right up to that fair value gap. And this high can be like an inducement. All right, this high can be an inducement into that particular fair value gap. So it is very clear, though I wasn't expecting that price to come back here again, but it looked like we're going to be coming down to back to that point. And then maybe that will be our manipulation out of this accumulation that we have been having here. All right, so we can have, let's say we'll be saying that that will be our manipulation phase. All right, we have a manipulation, and then we have a distribution back down to these areas. Remember, we had some points of interest down here as we're expecting price to come down and then clear them out. So this is basically what I'm seeing. So as of now, we are still heavily bullish on DXY. No reasons for any sales yet, because even like right on the, let's go back to the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, we spotted this last week. I think I said that as well. So this was a trendline phantom. And you know what I say, when price starts clearing the trendline phantom, it always goes right up to the origin of the trend line. So this means this high right here, as I said, is an inducement to that fair value gap, is actually an area of buy side liquidity. So we have a lot of buy stops that are sitting at this point. All right. So this this is likely going, price is likely going to clear it out and then come into the 3 weeks fair value gap. And if we look back here, we also see this bearish candle, which can likely act as a breaker. This is the weekly time frame. So let's go down to the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame, we have actually been very bullish. And last week, Friday, I was actually expecting a reversal Friday, a TGIF, because of this candle here. All right, this particular candle, which was supposed to be our other block, and then price sold Friday back down to this fair value gap. And then the fact that we did not see price closing even below this candle means we're going to likely be taking out this high this coming week. So we had this nice rejection from here, and we're going to likely open either Monday or Tuesday. Maybe if Monday turns around this area, Tuesday will likely take, maybe creating the high, taking this previous weekly high, and also taking the previous, the buy side liquidity we spotted. Maybe we can even have price pushing up to this area before we get reversals. All right. But as of now, we don't have any reason to be expecting sales on the dollar index, though we have expanded so much higher, but this buy side liquidity here is still at a very, it's still already very close, and price will likely clear that out. All right, so let me zoom that out and then we'll see. So we're already very close to this area, and then we don't see any key level here again that can be able to maybe push price lower. And moreover, I said this is the origin of this trend line liquidity, and as price has started clearing the trend line, we're likely going to continue higher. And also, now, if we don't continue higher immediately, that means we'll likely want to maybe have a pullback back into this range before we continue higher. It is still very possible, right? It is still very possible. So that's why you have to stay flexible, because at this point, you might want to force some buys here, and then price starts going back to the discount. All right, so we can have, let's say this is our range, and if we take our Fibonacci from down this point, from here, right up to this high, okay? So we have this mitigation block around this area, which is at the 618 level. So, and also there is, when price is about to hit a key level, most of the time you'll give you what they call a kiss of death. That means it might make as if he wants to sell before it actually takes out the liquidity was going for. Let's say you have your buy side liquidity here, and then price is actually coming right up to clear that liquidity. What it's going to do sometimes is it's going to take a low like this before it finally grabs out that liquidity. This traps a lot of people to start selling early, and then price takes them out. Most of the time you're going to see this. This is called the KOD, all right, the kiss of death. So let's see. That's probably what might happen here as well. Like I said, but all this we're going to see it on Monday, right? So if price closed below this candle, if Monday closed below this bullish candle, that means if we have Monday trade something, if Monday trades like this, and then closes below this low, then we're going to definitely have price come down to this area before we have a continuation back to clear the buy side liquidity. But the buy side liquidity is our overall drawn liquidity, but you know that price might not push it immediately, all right, because actually we have expanded so much already. So this is the first scenario. If Monday trades this way, closes below this candle, then we're going to definitely have the wick expand into this area. Maybe we'll have Wednesday or Thursday tapping into this key level, and then Friday back continuation back to the upside. All right. Or if Monday doesn't trade this way, let's say we have Monday open, all right, at this point, and then maybe it trades a little bit lower, maybe even taking this candle low, and then it goes back higher to close above this candle, then definitely we're going to be filling out this liquidity, maybe probably even in up to the 3 weeks fair value gap. Like I said, it's already very close as well. All right, so our analysis here are based on what is going to happen on Monday, because even if you look on the 4-hour time frame, we are actually consolidating. We're actually trapped in a consolidation. So it is if price breaks below this consolidation, we also have this key level, but this is too close. All right, and it's against a higher time frame discount. So after this consolidation, price might possibly just break out, clear the buy side liquidity into that area, and then we'll get some reversals at that point. So basically, we have two plans for the dollar index, Monday and Tuesday. Plan A, all right, plan A is that we're likely going to have a breakout to clear the origin of the trendline liquidity. And then plan B is if we close below Monday, right? If we close below Thursday's low, then we're definitely going to be coming down to the mitigation block on the daily before we can have maybe a rally back up to clear this buy side liquidity. But if we clear the buy side liquidity and then we start trading lower, and then we'll not expect price to come down here and then go right back up again to the liquidity because it would have been cleared out already. All right, so this is my view on the DXY. So let's put in Euro USD and GU into the equation. So we have GU on my left. Let me go straight to the daily chart. Oh, let's even look at a weekly. So this is the weekly type chart of Euro USD, and you can also see that we have dropped so much, all right? And just looking at this, it is so sure that we're likely going to be clearing out this low. Let's look at the monthly time frame. So monthly time frame, we had this fair value gap here. It's still intact, but that of the dollar was filled already. So I feel like if price wants to fill this fair value gap, then the 3 weeks fair value gap here will also be an ideal area for price to fill, right? So we have this confluence on Euro USD and that of DXY. 3 weeks fair value gap on DXY, and then this monthly fair value gap on Euro USD. So this low, we have those are our sell stops. We have our sell stops below this low into that monthly fair value gap. And going down to the daily time frame, we can also see that we have this trend line liquidity here, all right? And then this last down close candle was already mitigated from here, so it is not a fresh zone anymore. So we can likely, though price have a small rejection and reaction from that area, but it was pulling back up to this fair value gap. And after we did that, price came back to close lower. So we'll still expect lower prices. As of now, we can trade this candle, right? This candle can be our CRT into declaring these sell stops. That means we can have price open on Monday, trade lower, and then into that Monday fair value gap. And just like I said concerning the dollar index, we can have price do something like this. We open, maybe trade a little bit higher, create the high of the day, and then price trades lower to close something like this. And then Tuesday, we trade into this, and then maybe we'll not get Wednesday might give us some kind of a CRT, and then prices continue higher from there. Okay, this is plan A, same as plan A for this is plan A, and it's same as plan A for the dollar index. But if that doesn't happen, though I'm not really expecting a reversal now, okay, I'm not expecting a reversal now on Euro USD because we are not on any good key level. Though this is like an area of support, as you might call it, like maybe based on support and resistance, but it is not every support that price reacts from without actually taking out liquidity. Price can actually take out liquidity before it reverses, all right? And that will still mean it's a support zone. So basically, we can have price weak into this monthly fair value gap and still reject, maybe close above. That still maintains this zone as a support level, right? Because your support level should not be just a line. It is always a zone, all right? A zone where you wait for confirmation. So it should not just merely be a line, all right? So that's it for Euro USD. We expect the same thing as we want for the dollar index. Our plan A is that we have price expand probably on Monday into clearing the sell stops and probably into the monthly fair value gap, and from there we'll get a correction. And if that doesn't happen, we have this mitigation here, and that is the only resistance area we can have if price close above Thursday's high, which is at this point. Then we're going to have price push up into this area before we get a push back to the downside. Those are just our area or what we have, so that it should make us to be more flexible. So that if price is doing B, then you should know how to align yourself with B. If price is doing A, you should know how to align yourself with that. So you should not force your way into price, even though price is doing the opposite of what you're expecting. Okay, so looking at GU monthly time frame, we are still on a heavy bullish market. Let's see 3 weeks time frame. Is there any key valuable area? All right, so GU, we have price relative from this other block, and then we have this other block here. All right, now this other block, I still expect it to be respected. So let's go to the weekly time frame. All right, so we have this weekly clearing out all this trend line liquidity. And then we have this last down close candle here. All right. Now, there was also this trend line liquidity that we could see on GU here. All right, though it is not taken out yet. All right, still, it is not taken out yet. So there's a possibility that we can have price come down to this. All right, reject back, close above, and then we have price continue higher. But if price starts violating this, we might be in for some kind of a long sell, because all of these zones have already been mitigated. This other block was mitigated, this one was mitigated, and so on. So if price is breaking below this, then we would want to face more downsides on this guy. Maybe we'll then want to maybe trade lower right down to this area. But if this is to happen, it means the dollar will want to buy more again. But I don't feel like the dollar is going to be buying a lot more without actually reversing. So, and for the fact that GU hasn't really been dropping that much, so we might just have it play around this area and even come down to this daily fair value gap plus other block at this area. From there, we can have a reasonable retracement or a reversal. All right, so GU can come right down to this area. If the dollar is supposed to go higher to the 3 fair value gap and Euro USD to the monthly fair value gap, then we can have this guy come right down to that other block here. So GU, we can have GU down to this before a reversal. All right. Now we've breaked below this other block, which was a very, very nice one. I expected some reactions at this point, but we had none. So maybe if we have a test of it and then price comes down to that before. Okay, so that's for GU. And the second plan is if we don't just start dropping immediately, maybe we'll have a retest back right up to this area before we drop back. Same thing with dollar and so on. So let's look at gold. So gold has been dropping last week into, we had this monthly fair value gap, prices filled it. And then within this monthly fair value gap, we had a weekly BC as well. So refining the monthly fair value gap, we could refine it down to the weekly fair value gap, which is this one. So price is bouncing up from that, and we still have this fair value gap down here. So this looks more like a market maker sell model. This was an accumulation, so you can likely have price clearing that accumulation there. So, but before that happens, maybe we're going to be having a retest of this breaker, right? This is a breaker block that has been formed here. So maybe you can have price pull back a little bit into that breaker before actually we take out the origin of this consolidation to complete this market maker sell model. So that's it on gold. This is also a weekly fair value gap, right? And which is the low of this consolidation on the daily time frame. Let's look at Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin is actually consolidating. I was expecting price to fill out this fair value gap, as you might have seen on the community. So, but then after price closed this bullish, and then we jump into this consolidation, I consider this now, I am actually now on the sidelines because after this consolidation, we might just have a run through maybe to 100,000 before we get maybe a correction from them. All right, so it is very possible that that's what we might get for Bitcoin. So out of this consolidation, you have to be patient, wait for price to lead the way before you start engaging in any sales at this point, right? Remember, Bitcoin is in a heavy uptrend, so trying to short during this kind of consolidations might just be a trap, right? Because when the market is moving up and it starts consolidating, it's probably to get more sales to continue higher, all right? This is what they call a bullish flag, right? It's the same thing we have here. So maybe after this consolidation, we'll complete the flag. All right, the flag pattern. This is the pull. This is the flag, and then pull. And then from here, we can then get maybe something reversal. So whenever if we get this distribution up, and this manipulation up to 100,000, and then price starts to reverse, we're going to then target this low, right? Because this will now be like a market maker sell model, and we'll start targeting the lows of this accumulation. All right, so that's it for Bitcoin. But for now, I'm just on the sidelines unless price comes down to this fair value gap, and from here, if I get some bullish setups or any bullish confirmation from there, we can buy, maybe target is high and probably 100K. Because this is a whole figure, it's a more sentimental area as a target for a lot of investors and so on. All right, so that's it for Bitcoin. Let's quickly look at NASDAQ. Uh, let's look at Dow Jones. Dow Jones, we had that expansion up, and then we get in a correction. We're having a pullback, so this is actually not over yet. So we might just have price retest this area, maybe move higher again to create another new high, right? Let's see. US soil. All right, US soil, we're still bearish. I think I talked about this setup a couple of days back. So internal range liquidity here, probably into this low, right? We talked about it, 65.29 CSI liquidity. We're still heading towards that, and everything's now looks one-sided into clearing that liquidity, and probably even this slow down here. So that's US 30. Let's see NASDAQ. All right, so NASDAQ on pretty much the same thing with Dow Jones, but this guy has been dropping lately. So we have this other block right here. Okay, this is the only area of support that we have as of now that can maybe push price back higher. So if we get at least confirmations from the 1 hour at this point. If we have some playouts like this on the 1 hour, then we can get some long side points. All right, so, and also maybe you can use this candle as a CRT. If the low is taken and price doesn't close below it, maybe we have that low taken out and then price trades into this fair value gap. Okay, that means we can have something like this. Price opens, trades down into this fair value gap, and then closes back somehow like this. Then we might then start looking for continuation higher. First target will be that high. Okay, maybe we'll move higher again to create an all-time high. All right, but took out this major high. So if we're moving up to create another all-time high, that will be around 22,000. 22,000 is very far. 21,500. 21,500, 21,600, all those levels. All right, so but as of now, we are on a resistance area, right? An area where we can expect some buys coming from. And we have also this trend line liquidity. So if this doesn't get supported and we just break below that trend line liquidity, then we're going to be clearing the trend line right down to the origin of the trend line. And if that's to happen, it definitely means we're going to be coming down to fill this fair value gap here and also react to this other block. This will become our next target, this fair value gap right here. So if that doesn't respect, then we will have this here. If we break out of this, then we can have price coming down to this area. All right, so this is our plan B, and then our plan A is this one. All right. Okay, let's look at GBP JPY. GBP JPY, GBP JPY, why is that there? Okay, GBP JPY. GBP, JPY, we talked about this in the community, and the price sold massively last week. Now, look at where we are. I think we have been talking about this fair value gap for quite some time now, and then we had price traded into the fair value gap, and then we closed below this weekly candle. All right. Now, this body is because of the volume gap. So we closed back after taking that high. So this became a weekly CRT for us, and we had to take price back down to the weekly CRT low. So as of this point, daily time frame as well, the moment price took out the CRT high and this guy closed below, that was a confirmation we're going to be targeting these lows. And then this one again, and so on. So many of them, price closed below this candle again. This became the fresh order block, and everything that was happening within this area was just to make price to go lower. And that was what happened. And then that's it for, let's see. So what are our expectations at the moment? Now, just looking at JPY index, we're expecting higher prices from the monthly time frame, as you can see from this arrow, right? We have price reacted to this other block, and then we're expecting price to even come right up to this high. So we are still bullish on GBP, JPY. We're still bullish on GBP, JPY. Price had already filled this fair value gap, so I don't expect much lower prices for that. See, so we have this other block, so this should be an area of resistance. Okay, you can get some reactions out of this point, and they will move higher. I think CAD-JPY is the same thing. CAD-JPY is the same thing, though CAD-JPY did not fill the fair value gap yet, but you can see that it is not trying to actually sell that much. So we are still in a bullish push to the upside on CAD-JPY. All right, so this rejection, so many rejections, are still moving higher, and we're definitely going to come into this fair value gap. So let's look at the weekly time frame. The daily daily is still bullish. Yeah, this other block, maybe price might want to retest it again by taking out this low, and then we'll still expect higher prices. Let's see on GPY index. Okay, so I think the sales on GPY index, the sales on GBP, GPY and CAD-JPY were because of this guy buying, right? Remember, we had tapped into this candle. I've been pointing out this candle for quite some time now. Though I am looking out also into this fair value gap, I was expecting price to come fill it. But then we started, there's so many rejections here. There's probability price might want to move higher immediately from there. Don't know yet. So price action is still very much unclear. Same thing with CAD-JPY. If we still have this, then my support prices to go back down to taking out this low, which is the weekly fair value gap. S&P 500. Where is that? S&P 500, same thing with NASDAQ. We have this other block here. So we have to be patient, wait for the price to come down to that area, and then you can buy from there. All right, so this week is going to be an interesting week. I think there's a lot of prices setting out good. We are getting into our key levels, and we're going to be having good price action. We're having good price action already. So I know that a lot of us were trying to scalp out the dollar, and so many other pairs. So let me allow you guys to unmute yourself. If you have something, a question to ask, you can quickly do that in the next 5 minutes. So if you have a question, you can right, you can quickly ask, and then
Good evening, Mr. Gospel.
good evening.
It's not really much of a question. It's just I just wanted to appreciate you for the insight you give us in the free community. Even though it's free, but we learn a lot from the free knowledge you share. I've learned a lot, even though I'm not part of the, the VIP community. And I want to thank you for the work you put in every day to make sure that we are the new generation of forex traders are coming up.
Mr. Jonathan, why are you not on the VIP?
So it's the money.
Money is never a problem. Maybe I'm not just showing that you're serious yet.
It's a matter of time. So I will join you guys.
Money is never a problem. It's just a matter of setting priorities, right? That's just it.
Yeah, yeah,
There's some things now that if they happen to you, you raise money that is times 5 of what you might pay to be on the VIP.
yeah. That's true. That's true.
So it's just a matter of setting priorities and how far you're convinced that something can maybe change your life, or how, yeah, that's just basically it. And please,
That's
guys,
true.
please. Yes, good to you. So what I was saying is that I hear a lot of people asking questions on how do you do risk management on small accounts and so on. What I always tell you is that for you to make money in trading does not mean that you should use you should be trying to force your way into making huge amounts of money on a small account. All right, that's just a gambler's mindset, and it's very, very bad for your growth as a trader. What should bother you now should be to master the skill, because once you master the skill, you will then have that ability, or you have the chance to start using a heavy load because you have capital. Normally, it is very certain. If any of you walk up to me and then you show me a track record that this is what I've been able to do for the past 2 months, this is what I've been able to do for the past 5 months, I'll be able to phone you personally, or I can get a prop firm for you, knowing that this person can do this consistently. So it is not about capital. It is not that when you're trading a $10 account, you should be using a standard lot because you see some influencers on TikTok everywhere talking about a increase your lot size and so on. Then you go and you're increasing your lot. It's going to damage your mindset. It's going to make you even doubt what you're able to do. So the highest thing you should focus on, which will retain your capital. All right. Try to preserve your capital always. If you're able to preserve your capital, even if it is $50, it means you can preserve a bigger one. If you're playing around with big lot sizes or high risks on a small account, it is the same habits that you're going to portray on a bigger account. All right. So put it in your mind that you want to have a track record with this small amount of money. Just put in your mind, because I tell you that when you're coming into trading, it should not be as if that should not be the main thing that will be giving you money. So since you have other things that are giving you money, put it in your mind that you want to have a track record with this $20 account, with this $50 account. Use your 0.01. It's not a problem. Use it even if you're able to make 100% of $20 in the next 5 months. That's a lot of achievement. All right, you are trying to build a skill. Once you have that skill now, you can be able to even show anybody, you can be able to know that, okay, I'm able to follow rules, I'm able to manage this amount of money. All right, and then somebody can willingly give you money knowing that this person is conscious of what they're doing. You cannot be playing around with a $10 account and you are playing around with high lot size, and then you just come and you're telling somebody that I took $150 to $1,000. It does not make sense. The person will just look at your capital, your lot sizes, your inconsistency with risk management, and know that this person will not be able to retain my money. This person will not be able to manage this money well, because you will be so tempted to mismanage those funds. All right. So keep it in mind. You are trying to build a skill. You are trying to have a track record, even if it is 2 months. If you have a good track record of 2 months, you can send me an inbox. We'll see what to do about it. At least 2 months. All right. Just try to build a track record. Let me see a track record. Let me see a consistency in risk management. 2 months, 5 months, then we can see how to set up your funding, and then from there you can will be convinced that this person can be able to do this. All right. It is not about winning every trade, no. So keep that in mind, and I wish you all the best for this week. We're out of time. Stay tuned on our various communities. I'm going to be updating you guys on how the week is going, this new setups, and what price action is giving us. All right. So good night to you all, and be blessed.